People, deluded. Now, I can't speak for every Arsenal fan, but obviously, football's a weird game. I believe there's a fine line between accepting constructive criticism. I mean, if someone's made a mistake, if a manager's made a mistake, topic is is clearly Unai Emery here, people. I do believe if you praise players, in a world where I like to praise players to high heavens, I believe in looking at their performance with that same energy. I do believe that in football, people run the risk of going over the top, of letting their emotions cloud their logic and actually what they're saying, and then it becomes a witch hunt. Now, right now, rightly or wrongly, there are some legit reasons for Unai Emery to leave this club, people. We'll touch on that a bit, for people to want him to leave this club. Obviously, I would like him to stay, and I'm sure many of you, at least now, even though we've been a bit of a rumble, and to be honest, for me personally, for everything I like about Emery, last season, the same concerns that I've had and I've made in videos, I've actually made an Emery playlist, people, check it out. I've kept my language the same. I just feel people, I get excited, people. Right now, it's the cool thing to hate on Unai Emery. For people like me that have been saying these sort of things and question marks over for all his managerial nous, there's question marks. We were called haters. I remember going back to my Arsenal Fan TV thing. I gave Emery a 5 out of 10 about 5 months ago when we were just about to get top 4. People said, how can you do that? We've done this, we've done that, we're about to get top 4. I said, listen, because I'm looking at it without emotion. I'm looking at the eye test. When we was going 22 unbeaten run, people, these same defensive frailties were there. These same struggling to be on top of teams were there. The same relying on individuals were there. The same less shots, the same having to go into half-time and then substitutions changed the game for us. All of these things were here. It's just the language was different. You was told this is the marks of a winning team. These are effective performances. We've been passing around the ball for years for no reason. We're now decisive. You heard all of this. And the more you leave something, people, the bigger it escalates. And now people are seeing it. I was called a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm not always right. But I know what I'm seeing and I know why I love my club. I like Unai Emery. I think he's got charisma to a degree. I think he's good tactically. Clearly his plans or what he's trying to do isn't working currently, people. There's no significant improvement at Arsenal beyond probably set pieces, and even that's at a push. If you was to ask any other football fan that's not a regular watcher of the Premier League to watch a tape from Arsenal under Arsene Wenger in his last season and watch one of the games now in this period or even last season, you're struggling to see any improvement or any noticeable difference. The only change is that we focus a bit more on the centre halves. I mean, on the left backs. So I think it's the cool thing to get onto Unai Emery right now. People are seeing that he's potentially not the manager to potentially take us to that next level, and he seems to be someone to fix stability. I back him. I want him to turn it around. Hopefully, in an ideal world, we get top 4 this season and we go one better in the Europa League. There is a debate for, well, he should keep his job in theory if he gets that, but by the same logic, there is a debate for if he does get that, should we move him on as well and go for someone a bit more radical, a bit more decisive in their approach, people? Not necessarily younger, but someone a bit more principled, because I like Emery. But what is his footballing philosophy at Arsenal so far? It's just been adapting to every team from Burnley to Manchester City. We're yet to have a real foothold on the team. And to be honest, most fans wouldn't have a problem. It's the fact that people were talking about being pragmatic and scoring 5 goals instead of winning 1-0. These things have not happened, people. The attacking thing, I think first and foremost we need to focus on improving defensively. But my regular watchers know I've been saying offensively we're letting ourselves down. We're not shooting enough. We're not creating enough. We're just relying on the individual brilliance of Aubameyang, Lacazette, previously Aaron Ramsey, Mesut Ozil at the weekend and last season against Leicester, and intricate moves like that. First and foremost we need to improve defensively. I don't see it, because I'm not going to focus on attack, but if we just look at the compactness, Emery's tried to... It made no sense, because last season we never had no wingers, and we were insisting on utilising the flanks and playing people out there and trying to make the wingers. This year we've got some wingers in Nelson and Pepe side, and it's like we just want to be narrow. Obviously Emery has his reasons, and it's been a year, so we might see different things, and he's entitled to do what he wants. But for me, the pet peeve I have is, first and foremost, Arsenal needed to prove defensively, right? For a diamond to work, you can have as many players as you want, but you need to be able to sit in. You need to be, especially if you're going to be compact, like you saw, I'd say even actually more of a degree against Liverpool than Watford, because we were obviously the underdogs. If we're going to stay compact and tight, people, and I've got to exaggerate this to make the point, if you're going to stay compact and tight, this is a defensive phase, people, yeah? You need to be able to work as a unit. Let's make some opposition players say they're putting in crosses, because they're going to put in crosses, people, but they're men. You need to stay as a unit. You need to be able to, when crosses are coming in from that side, who is going to press? Shuffling over. Who has got their men? Do you get it? When crosses are coming in from this side, making sure we stay in shape, people. Do you get it? I am yet to see Arsenal significantly hold shape like this and deal and switch. It's a thing where, say, plays over here and there's danger. Shuffling across. I don't see us moving like a unit. Midfield, all drilled, following men and stuff like that. I don't see us as a unit. Fundamentally, to play how we want to play and be compact, we need to be working as a unit, because there's going to be times we're under sustained amounts of pressure by the attackers, and this has been seen. And there's going to be all different balls coming in. Balls out wide, balls over the... Someone's going to hoof it over the top, trying to find the needle of the haystack. And we've got to be able to sit in deep and defend against this, especially if we go again. Well, we can't go again to Anfield, but how we played against Liverpool, you potentially say it would probably be Manchester City would be the game where we, to the most extent, we'd have to do this. But this, because we're unable to do this, this leads me to believe, and again, I could be wrong, I'm just a football fan, we're not actively working on that. Yes, people could say there's been no holding, Kieran Tierney, Bellerin, this, that and the other, and all of that is true, people. Every team would hurt if they lose players, or their best players, or key players, or new signings, or whatever. But within reason, there has got to still be a consistent sort of performance if you was to play like this. You look at Burnley. We need to be able to... We're a better club than Burnley. We're a better team. I'm not saying anything. But one thing Burnley can do is defend better. Sean Dyche is a better defensive coach than Emery, clearly. Sean Dyche, again, I don't know all Burnley squad. But do you honestly think if Ben Mee and who's another centre-half? Don't even know. But Ben Mee and someone else and their left-backs are right-backs. Well, Ben Mee can play centre-half and left-back. Whoever's in that defence and midfield, you're going to still see a level of how well drilled they are. 2 banks of 4. Staying compact. You're going to see these sort of things, people. You're going to see that, and this leads me to believe we're not working on that. Clearly, we're not working on defensive drills beyond maybe positioning, because not even positioning, because we don't see it. Emery's personally been here over a year now, and we're still yet to see it, and there's no way around it. Yes, you can sit here and say the players, but at the same time, it falls on the manager. How we defend and how we defend as a unit is what's going to make the difference in regards to Arsenal top 4. And so far, it's just simply not been there yet, to be fair with you people. So I back Emery. I actually wouldn't sack him right now, because it don't make no sense. There is a debate to be had. If you genuinely, let's just say, if the members in that club which are hearing now genuinely believe Emery is not the man to take the club forward, then you wonder, is it a case of nipping this in the bud, giving it to a new man, saying, yo, listen, you're a new guy, you've got a new team, it's midway through the season, just get us to the end of the season in the most respectable way you can. If you can finish top 4, then great. Next season is really your time. But as long as that's someone they believe in, similar to Liverpool and Klopp, the Klopp come in mid-season. Again, I don't like to make the Klopp Emery thingies, because I think they're completely different. Yes, they inherited crap squads and they've improved it somewhat, but Klopp, and even Klopp's had to mould his philosophy, because if you look at how Liverpool play, the principles are still there, but they're slightly less direct, and there's a better emphasis, maybe more so last season than this one, because they've been a bit shaky defensively. There's an improvement defensively and seeking out clean sheets and game management, being less gun-ho that Liverpool were in his first couple of seasons, you get it? But you still know what Klopp is about: aggression, high pressing, energetic, playing for the cause. You know what it is, innit? People always advocate playing style with attacking football. That's the way the game goes, but that also includes defensive. If Emery was a defensive manager, then we'd be sitting here saying fair enough, but there's another debate to be had. Can you say he's a defensive manager? Because he talks about being pragmatic and compact. The club can't do it. And there's different players there now, people. And to a degree, regardless, if you're a defensive coach, you should be able to get them to play well. Because regardless of your opinions on some of these players, he's got them all playing out from the back. So that same energy should be replicated. I believe we should just back Emery unless something dramatic happens, and he shouldn't lose his job, people. I think it would be silly. And who would you bring as the biggest debate? Personally, I don't know. I'm looking at one that comes to mind as an outsider is potentially the Rennes boss. I don't know if he's still there, but the one from last season, because he brings through young players, they play relative attractive football, and he's gaining a reputation. It might be too early for him to get such a position. I'm not sure in his history, but yeah, people. I think we should stick by Emery, at least for now, until something dramatic happens. There's a debate to be said whether we get rid of him at the end of the season. If in an ideal world we get Europa League and top 4 and potentially go for someone a bit more radical in their ideas and approach. but he really shouldn't be sacked now. And if he gets top 4, he shouldn't be sacked. And I do think we need to back our manager and back our men, because Arsenal, I've seen people get at Pepe. 1 minute people love Ceballos and now they hate him. People that were saying, Emery, be careful what you wish for. Wenger's finally gone. I've now seen the same people saying he's worse than Wenger. Social media personalities. And the bookies have slashed the odds on Emery to be sacked at the end of the season, people. It's been slashed to 6-4. 4 to, I don't even know how the bookie thing works. And Patrick Vieira and Lomberg are the favourites. Well, Arteta's the favourite and Patrick and Lomberg are behind them, in which you could say, maybe not so for Vieira, but I'd say Lomberg and Arteta, they're definitely more radical in their approaches. I think Vieira's a good manager, but I wouldn't say that. Apparently as well, according to The Athletic, players are also growing frustrated by Emery's repetitive training methods. Now they back the manager, but they're left bewildered by the repetitive nature. Apparently when he first came in, when he was doing his opposition analysis and whatnot, he would set up our reserve team, our under-23s, in a mock game, how their opposition on the weekend would play. And apparently the players relished that, but that's gone. Apparently there's been no emphasis on how we press. And to be honest, people, I know I've said how we defend, but how you press is the first line, people. You saw Watford press us very well yesterday, on Sunday, people, and stop the first phase of play here, people. You saw them pressing us. But how many goals have you seen? And I'm not going to draw everybody. I can't talk about the strikers and not talk about midfield runners. How many times have you seen midfield runners from deep not be picked up by X, Y, Z? But also the ball sometimes goes out to this centre half or that one, and that's what normally creates the goal. This left back might get it and fizz it down the channel into him, who might play it into another man who is, let's say you're not a midfielder, into there, or this guy might step out and pass it here and it might end up there, and obviously a shot at our goal. My point being, people, Arsenal off the ball, one of the worst teams in the Premier League. It kills me to say that. I love my club, people, but you look at it, and if you can't see this, forgive me. How many times has it been where the ball might come out to the right back? This guy is dipping. You see it with Liverpool. If this left back, left wing, and I'm not saying he does or doesn't, just to highlight the example, if he goes and fouls him, I'm not advocating fouls him, but if he goes to tackle him, just simply by delaying him, he allows my man to get back, my man to get back, my man to get back, my man to drop. Potentially this midfielder to go out there. Better positioning, do you get it, people? Oh, cover me. Oh, you got a man. You mark him. Bring your wing back. Bring your winger back. Do you get it, people? You mark him. Let me shuffle. Let's play a high line, we're playing him on side. Do you get it? How many goals have developed purely because we've not put the fire out at the first attempt, people? So as much as I get at the defence, it's up there as well. And if you haven't, we don't press consistently. We have not improved. We have not improved in pressing. We do not press consistently, and that's also, again, if we're working on that in training, then forgive me, but this leads me to believe we're not, because we don't see it. And like the article allegedly says, we're not doing that, people. It's abandoned us. In fact, the highlights are we rarely work on pressing and none of his tactical plans, really. The players enjoy working under him but are frustrated with the same repetitive drills. Apparently they often zone out during 2 hours of analysis sessions. Now you would like to hear the players focus, and really the players that are making individual mistakes, I don't want to hear you losing focus, but at the same time, you've got to remember human beings have a short attention span. 2 hours is probably filled with a lot of knowledge, and someone like me would like it, but in terms of giving people information, could he potentially scale that down, focus on the more important, vital bits of the information? Could he potentially go around this squad and seeing the different learning styles? Because like we know in the classroom, Aubameyang might be more of a visual learner. Lacazette might be more of a kinetic learner. Someone might prefer the statistics and the numbers. Someone else might prefer the physical object and things like that, and learning with their hands, whatever that is. So is there a way of decreasing the boredom by kind of understanding that? And we might have to liaise with the well-being coach, or whatever, the physiology coach, whatever they call it, for that, people. I'm just a football man. I don't know about them thing there. I'm just offering an opinion. So he's got to change, people. And obviously he spoke on transforming Arsenal into a pressing team. Apparently a training ground source has said, bar a few drills at the end of last season, pressing has never been a major part of his tactical plans. And you see it. For me, he's given up pressing. Like I've said earlier, he's given up pressing, and he's somewhat saying, okay, forget pressing. Let's just stay compact as a side and be tough to break down. But if you're going to be tough to break down and being compact, like I said, you have to be able to deal with threats from wide areas. We need to be on the sustained drills where we're doing this for hours and hours and hours of these players dealing with crosses, cutting out threats. And this leads me to believe, because we're seeing it on the field, we're not doing that because we've not improved significantly at that, people, since Emery's come in. That's not a criticism, that's a fact. We heard protagonists, we've seen nothing to suggest we're going to be protagonists. And again, last year there was all excuses under the book under it's not his job, he's not his team, it's this, it's that and the other. And all of that is true, people. But by the same token, you gotta review what you're doing, and yeah, man, there's no smoke without fire, essentially, people. Apparently Arteta was, I'm just looking at the same article, apparently to replace Wenger in 2018, there was Allegri, Arteta, and obviously Unai Emery. Well, that was what was whittled down to. Arteta was the front runner to replace Wenger before Ivan Gazidis had a late change of heart, with the chief executive reluctant to drop a first-time manager into an undeniable difficult position. Now, I'm not, for the one thing, I mean, that's the best thing I've seen Gazidis do, and I'm not saying Arteta should have been here or not, and we already knew that. It's actually in the article, so I thought I'd mention it. And it also said, when Emery first arrived at the club, he met with the representatives of Aaron Ramsey to discuss his role in the team at a crucial point in contract talks. But Ramsey's camp left with no great understanding of how he would be used. So that's not really relevant, but I thought I'd just mention that, people, because nobody has a clue right now at the moment. But what can I say? I love my club. We go again on Thursday against Frankfurt. I've been enjoying the Champions League. And to be fair with you, a quick little word on that. We've got to be looking at Håland. I've told you a lot about him. He's technically got English in him. He's the son of a former Manchester City lad. He said his dream is to win the Premier League with Leeds. That's positive for a Leeds fan to hear. From an Arsenal perspective, I know we've got Aubameyang and Lacazette, but if we look at both of their contract and stuff, if we look at Aubameyang's age, we've probably got to start looking at a striker. And for me, I wasn't always sold on Håland. I've given you the videos, and you can see the proof that I know these players. What I mean by that is I recognise he was a good player. He's strong. He's good technically. He's a very good finisher of different chances, as shown last night against Genk in the Champions League. But I just wanted that bit more confirmation. Like under 20s World Cup, he was good, but I can't remember the team they played where they won 12-0 and he scored 9 goals. Obviously, that game was a mismatch. The players they were playing was probably part-timers, but he is a bully, people. He knows how to score goals, and he's going to, more importantly, make his club a lot of money. Right now, I'd probably value him at 30 to 40 million, and that's going to rise. That's me just going in there with straight cash, but they should be getting more than that because of the potential. We need to be going for Szoboszlai. I can never say his name, the young 18-year-old Hungarian lad. You've watched him, I've watched him. Lovely midfield passer of a ball, can hit a set piece, only 18, played quite well last night as well. I think we should be looking to get him. Apparently we were on trying to get him for 90 million last year. We need to go and get that one done. I would love the both of them. We need to get that one done. Get them two done. Bring me Jude Bellingham from Birmingham, and we've had a good additions, man. I think Bellingham is amazing, people. He scored against Charlton. He scored I can't remember who else they played, but he scored 2 goals so far for Birmingham. And he's at the right club, man. He should go there, play some games similar to Dele Alli at MK Dons, and the move will happen. But when that move comes, I want Arsenal to be that club, man. I really wanted Morgan Rogers of West Brom, now of Manchester City. I don't want us to miss out on Jude Bellingham, because I think he would be very, very good long-term addition for us, and he would accelerate into the first team on a quick basis, people. And I mean, to have him, Guendouzi, Torreira, Miguel and Aziz, who's turning 17 this week, I believe, should sign a pro long-term options. I believe I back him to make first team. These could be good presentable options, people. I mean, imagine Bellingham and Szoboszlai on top of the players I've said already. We'd have some good resale value, some good players for the future, people. And I think Jude Bellingham is going off to be an England international one day, and Arsenal have been lacking that in recent years, so he can help me get over that of sorts. So I've got nothing more to say, people. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for watching. I was meant to talk about Szoboszlai, Håland and Jude Bellingham in another vid, which I probably will do. But I thought I'd just, wrap it up into one. People, I need to go off to work. Before that, I need to visit the restroom and do what I need to do without going into details. People, Deluded, I'm out. Thank you for always watching and rocking and supporting my thing, people. And soon, I'm going to need you lot to help me push something, people. I'm going to at a certain account saying I should be on their show, and I'm going to need you lot to retweet it to go crazy, man, because I know the power of YouTube and social media is very good. And to be honest, man, I'm tired now, man. I need to be getting to where I need to get to. So if you could support the thing when it comes, it'd be appreciated. But for now, if you've got nothing else to say, please like. Well, I've got nothing more to say, better yet. Please like, subscribe, and do the rest of that sort of stuff. DG, I'm out. God bless.